I didn't really give you a chance to talk on Tuesday and, express feelings, work things out. Was there anything you wanted to say to our viewers?
Let me get something off my chest right now before I get too choked up. St. Louis, with all due respect, yes, you're a rival, but regardless of who was on the schedule in the Preds' first home game after what happened earlier this week, this result was going to happen. No hard feelings, okay?
Oh, this one feels damn good after what happened this week.
Everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators defeat the St. Louis Blues by a score of 6-1 Saturday afternoon inside Bridgestone Arena. A matinee victory that felt so sweet. One of those rare things the Preds haven't gotten as much as they would like this season. Can't say this very much in Preds games this season, especially when they win, that the Preds were just simply the better team from start to finish. And boy, did the Preds need this victory if they had any expectation of keeping pace with now just 7 games left to go, with Calgary and Winnipeg trying to get that last wildcard spot. It was the Preds' first home game since Monday's tragedy in Green Hills, and there was a moment of silence before the game started, and you could tell that Preds PA announcer Paul McCann was trying his damnedest not to get too choked up when reading the names of the victims, the 6 victims. Go back and listen to it if you can find it. It was beautifully done. As for the game, it's the Preds' last head-to-head meeting against the Blues, having lost 2 of the 3 previous meetings. If the Preds fail to make the playoffs, you can look to this as a key reason why Spencer Stastny makes his NHL debut for the Preds in this one, having played with Milwaukee in the AHL in Laval, Quebec last night. It's the Preds' 41st player to dress for this franchise this season. That's too short of tying the franchise record of 43 set back in 2003-2004. Stastny had to get called up because now Jeremy Lauzon joins the ever-growing injured list for the Preds. Stastny would wear 81 for the Preds. Not actually the first player, as some of you might think, and you'd be understandable for thinking so, to wear that number for this team. The first player ever to wear 81 was Mike Sillinger. I was hoping that Stastny would wear a number that's never been worn so that I could get a little bit closer of my dream video of doing one take for every jersey number from 1 to 98 worn by the Preds. As for this game, 4.5 minutes into the first period, after a face-off win, Luke Evangelista backhands it out front too, with Keith Sherwood providing a pick on Colton Parayko. Tommy Novak is able to backhand roof it over Tommy Grice's shoulder, and the Preds have a 1-0 lead. A minute later, after Luke Evangelista draws a cross-checking penalty from Blues forward Josh Levo, Evangelista goes to work, dictating terms in the corner again. He gets it back to Tommy Novak, who quarterbacks at the point, and he just throws it on net and through a screen, something we've grown accustomed to seeing from this kid since he was allowed to start the season with the Preds. Cody Glass gets a beautiful tip. It goes in off his Thomas Greiss, his 13th of the season, and the Preds have a 2-0 lead. Preds came out ready to go in this one, and they lead the Blues 2-0 after one, outshooting them 10-3. In the second period, about 7 minutes in, Keith Sherwood is in the box for tripping, but no over you fret for this Preds team in this game. Not even 15 seconds into the Blues power play in the Preds zone, you've got Colton Sissons who steals the puck away from Jordan Kyrou, and he's off to the races using all his strength, all the muster he can to fight off Jordan Kyrou, and he's in, and he takes a shot. He beats Thomas Greiss. The Preds are rolling now up 3-0. Out of the game, Preds Nation, that Colton Sissons is the only active player on the Preds roster right now who has played in all 75 games to this point. Injury bug hasn't been Colton Sissons. Better safe than sorry, to knock on wood, right? There's 7 minutes left to go in the second period now. It's the Sherwood, Novak, and Evangelista line at it again. After getting the puck from Tommy Novak, Keith Sherwood in the corner directs it out front to the front of the St. Louis Blues net to Luke Evangelista right in front of the Blues crease, and he's allowed to just whack away. The puck pops home past Thomas Greiss. The Preds are absolutely steamrolling the Blues, now up 4-0. The Preds lineup is fired up. The Bridgestone faithful is fired up. And with all this Preds offense in this game to this point, don't let me leave out UC Saros' effort as well, because he was just as much a part of this victory. Just about 2 minutes left to go in the second period. Blues circling in the Preds zone, applying pressure. The only period that the Blues would outshoot the Preds, 15-10. And you got Sammy Bly right in front, who is denied by UC Saros. And UC Saros has the puck covered. Okay, it's in the crease. He has the puck covered. You're supposed to respect him, and the ref is supposed to blow the whistle. But Sammy Bly is obviously ticked off, and he whacks away, getting the Preds forwards who support Saros pissed off, and luckily the ref saw it, so they gave him a well-deserved dropping call. On the ensuing power play, the Preds looked to take a 5-0 lead on a Keith Sherwood goal, but St. Louis would challenge, and yes, I can't really argue, maybe by inches, that it was a high stick tip by Keith Sherwood that Tommy Greiss couldn't stop. Preds still lead by a pretty good margin, 4-0 after 2 periods. In the third period, about 8.5 into the period, the Blues would break UC Saros' shutout that he wanted for himself and for the city on a Callie Rosen knuckler that he just couldn't see in time to stop, but the Preds would negate that goal and restore a 4-goal lead about 3 minutes later, with Yakov Trenin stealing the puck away from Tommy Greiss, who couldn't cover up, and he would wrap around. It would go off of a Blues defenseman into the empty cage. Preds now up 5-1, and the capper in this sweet, sweet win for the Preds and the city. Just over 2 minutes left. Michael McCarron would draw a tripping call from Jake Neighbors of the Blues after Tommy Novak gets the puck back to the point to Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie over to Philip Tomasino, who skates right in, finds the right lane, the right avenue, snaps a shot on net. It tips in off of Justin Folk's stick, up and over Tommy Greiss's shoulder. The Preds commanding lead now, 6-1. Clock winds down now. The Bridgestone faithful rise to their feet to evangelize and be so grateful to this team for giving them 2.5 hours of joy. Preds give each other a well-deserved pat on the back. Second win in 3 games to raise the spirits of all of Preds Nation, and they win this game start to basically finish 6-1. Let me just start off this post-game summary by saying, much like I said in the moment when this game was over on Twitter earlier today, that I have never been more proud of these kids. I have never been more proud to be a fan of this team, the way the kids and everybody else on this roster rose to the occasion and won 2 key victories. Not just winning the initial game after Monday's tragedy in Boston against the Goliath that is the Boston Bruins. They won that game for themselves and their city, but they won the initial first game back at home after Monday's tragic events to bring their city and its citizens just a little bit of joy. How does that not make you proud to be a member of a franchise that rallies and does that sort of thing? I am never straying from being a fan of this team. Efforts like this one by the kids who are still developing on this roster and will only get better with more experience and bulking up with muscle and getting stronger in years to come. Efforts like these 2 this week will endear you to the fan base for years to come. The Preds dominated this one from start to finish, despite being outshot in the second period. This game was never really in doubt, and the Preds were amazing on special teams, killing all 4 Blues power play chances and going 2 for 4 on power play chances that they got. Props to performances from Tommy Novak on his 4-point game and to Luke Evangelista on his 3-point game. At least today, St. Luke the Evangelist, remember, he's a real saint, shined brighter than St. Louis, named after a former French king. After this game, the Preds have 7 games remaining, 4 at home, 3 on the road, 2 of them, one each, against the two teams that they're battling for that final wildcard Western Conference playoff spot. Tall task to think this team could go 7-0, but if they could, or maybe even 6-1, maybe 5-2, they might just pull it out in the end. It should be fun to watch. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. God really does work in mysterious ways sometimes, Preds Nation. 6 goals for 6 victims. Rest in eternal peace.